After the double leg kick, we'll have neck pull. So we're on the stomach for our double leg kick. We have that 3 times, and then we come down. We lift up. When we finish, we'll come back into that child's pose. I always like to oscillate a little bit east-west, east-west. And then we come back onto the ground. We onto the back. Neck pull traditionally starts from the back. So what we have here often, people start with this placement of the hands. This is a little, in a sense, advanced, because really all we're trying to do is organize our powerhouse, that box of hips to shoulders, right? So it's basically a roll-up with a leaning tower of Pisa with a neutral spine, and then coming back into that roll-up, that flexion sequence through the spine again. So to start from the floor, instead of having hands behind the head, which would be the hardest, hands palm over palm in front of the forehead, which is a little easier, you can also have genie arms. You can also just use those roll-up arms underhand low in order to just build that dialogue of a roll-up before we need to do anything more complicated, right? So with this, in neck pull, you'll have feet about hip to shoulder width apart, nice flex to the foot. We can start with our fingertips to sternum. We take an inhale here. Exhaling as we curl that sternum. We have light head, light heels. Our weight is in our sacrum. Then you can have the arms long to help you come up, curling up, keeping the weight in the sacrum as far as you can. Then you'll come forward into sits bone. You continue forward as far as you can in sits bone. So this really is just a roll up, right? And you either have the hands here, or at sternum, or genie arms. And then we come upright, soft chin, get tall through your sits bones. This is about standing in your pelvis. And then leaning tower of Pisa, we'll come back, staying as tall as you can in the sits bones, neutral spine. We go as far as we can until we have to start to curl that pubic bone sternum, and you'll transfer from your sits bone back onto your sacrum. Then you can use the arms to help counterweight you, so you keep your weight, remember, in your sacrum the entire time, light head, light heels, and we come all the way down. As the head lightly touches, then we'll come right back up, inhaling and exhaling. We're coming through the sacrum all the way until we have to transfer to sits bone. We only go as far forward as we can stay in our sits bone. Then we'll come up tall, 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 soft chin, long through the back of the neck, and long in the body. You can try to test it with hands a little closer to the head, but it becomes a lot more difficult pretty quickly. So we can have the arms out longer as we start to curl. We find our way to our sacrum. We stay in our sacrum with a long flex of the foot, long dorsiflexed foot. And we inhale and exhaling, we come back up through sacrum. We transfer to sits bone. We stay as far as we can. We only go as far forward as we can stay in sits bone. We come up tall, tall, tall. And imagine like soft chin, long back of the neck, like you're trying to scrape the ceiling with the crown of the head. And then when we've gone as far as we possibly can, we curl that pubic bone sternum till we find our sacrum. We stay in sacrum, light head, light heels, long flex of that foot as we come all the way to the ground. And then we'll be ready for the sort of shoulder stand series. So that's just a way to break down neck pull in something that it's not, you don't want to ask so much of the body by making everything heavier when you're just trying to first organize spinal articulation, spinal organization. If you can't organize the powerhouse and really have a no momentum use of every lowest weight bearing segment from sacrum to sits bone, then long neutral spine and sits bone, curling back to sacrum all the way to the floor. If you can't organize that, there's no point in adding longer, heavier things. Eventually, you can start to scale it up and challenge yourself a little more. You can have, as you come back, you can start to have the hands closer to, your axial skeleton, as opposed to having them far away from you. to help counterweight you, you can start to have them closer to forehead, but you'll notice pretty quickly that everything becomes a lot more difficult and a lot heavier to try to challenge the body like that. I would say this is about my maximum. Doing this, I'd basically be faking it or working super hard in the body in order to make that happen. And it's not to say that's bad to sort of test your borders and your boundaries, but we also want to build a hierarchy of why are we organizing this way in the first place?